Welcome back to the Remodel Report, the podcast, where we cut through the noise on kitchen and bath trends and tell you what designers and contractors are actually doing this year. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jessica. Today we're talking about something that used to be a niche design choice and is now showing up in roughly 1 out of every 4 renovated kitchens. Two-tone cabinets.
25%. That's a real number. The 2026 Houzz Kitchen Trends Study just came out, surveying about 1,780 homeowners, and nearly a quarter of them chose different colors for their upper and lower cabinets. That's a big shift.
And the bigger headline buried in that same study: wood-toned cabinets just overtook white as the #1 finish in American kitchens. First time in nearly a decade. 29% wood, 28% white.
Which on the surface sounds like a small gap, but if you've been watching kitchen design for a few years, that's a tectonic shift. White was dominant for a long time. The all-white minimalist kitchen ruled the 2018 to 2023 era.
Right. And what's happening now isn't that white is dying. It's just moving upstairs. When people go two-tone, they tend to put a warm white or off-white on the upper cabinets and put the color or the wood down below.
Which makes sense visually. A darker tone on the bottom grounds the room. A lighter tone on top keeps the eye moving toward the ceiling. It's the same reason your living room walls are usually lighter than your floor.
So let's get practical. If somebody listening is planning a kitchen reno this year and they're thinking about going two-tone, where do they actually start?
3 things: layout strategy first, color pairing second, undertones third, and probably hardware as a fourth.
Okay, layout. What are the options?
There are basically 4. The classic one is upper-lower split. Lighter cabinets above, darker below. That's what most of the house data is tracking. Then there's the island as accent strategy, where your perimeter stays one tone and the island becomes the focal piece in a different color.
Which is probably the safest version if you're nervous about commitment, right? Because if you decide you hate the island color in 5 years, you repaint one piece, not the whole kitchen.
Exactly. And the third strategy is what designers are calling vertical zoning. You pick out a specific zone like a coffee bar nook, or a hood surround, or a butler's pantry, and you finish just that zone in a contrasting color. Lowest risk version of two-tone.
Houzz reported that 24% of 2026 renovations now include a dedicated beverage station, which is wild.
It is. The kitchen used to be one room. Now it's 3 or 4 zones inside one room. And the fourth layout is the most ambitious. It's the monolithic tall cabinet wall. Floor-to-ceiling cabinetry that integrates pantry storage, coffee station, panel-ready appliances, all in one continuous surface. Usually in a deeper tone, like charcoal or deep walnut, while the rest of the kitchen stays light.
That one needs the ceiling height, though.
Yeah, you really want 9-foot ceilings or higher. In a standard 8-foot kitchen, that tall wall approach can feel compressing.
Okay, so layout decided. What about color pairings? What's actually working this year?
The 2026 default that designers reach for first is warm white on top, medium stained walnut below. That's the one that works in almost any house style and is the most resale friendly. The numbers from Houzz back it up. 40% of two-tone kitchens pick white for the uppers, 19% pick off-white, and 17% pick a wood tone.
What about the green trend? I keep seeing kitchens with green cabinets in every design magazine.
Yeah, green is huge. NKBA surveyed designers for their 2026 report, and 86% of them expect green to lead color palettes this year. But the version that's holding up isn't a saturated emerald. It's a muted, dusty green, almost a smoky jade.
Like Benjamin Moore Cushing Green or Sherwin-Williams Rosemary.
Right. Pair that with a warm cream or khaki upper, like accessible beige or Manchester tan, and you get a kitchen that reads sophisticated without trying too hard.
And navy?
Navy replaced black and white as the dramatic pairing. Hail Navy and Naval are the 2 paint codes that come up in nearly every Navy kitchen feature. Keep the navy on the bottom so it grounds the room. Pair with brass hardware and a warm wood floor. And go with an off-white like Simply White on top. A pure clinical white fights the warmth.
Okay, So let's talk about the thing that wrecks more two-tone kitchens than anything else: undertones.
Yes, this is where most regret comes from. People pick out their paint at the paint store, then they pick out their wood at the cabinet showroom, then they pick out their flooring somewhere else. And they don't realize until everything is installed that all three have different hidden undertones.
Like a warm white with a yellow undertone next to a cool gray wood with a blue undertone. They fight each other.
Exactly. The rule is simple. Warm goes with warm. Cool goes with cool. And grayish, that gray-beige bridge tone, works with almost anything. The practical test is to bring your real samples together under the same light source. Flooring, paint, wood, countertop, all laid out together. Morning light, evening light, both.
We tell people this constantly at the showroom. Bring your flooring sample. Bring your countertop sample. 5 minutes of laying everything out next to each other saves 3 weeks of regret after the cabinets get installed.
Speaking of lighting, that's actually a sleeper issue with two-tone kitchens. A navy cabinet can look black if your lighting has a low color rendering index. An olive green can look muddy brown. So if you're going with bold colors, spec LED bulbs with a CRI of 90 or higher.
And layer the light temperature. Around 2700 to 3000 Kelvin for the ambient ceiling lights, but bump it up to 3500 to 4000 Kelvin for under cabinet task lighting. That keeps your whites looking crisp and your greens looking fresh.
Toe kick lighting for nighttime, you want it warmer. Around 2200 to 2700 Kelvin, so it doesn't wake you up if you walk into the kitchen at 3 in the morning.